This year, I analyzed over 100 startups, and I found a couple patterns with the mistakes they were making that were killing their chances of growth. Let's get into it. Number one is tiny total addressable market, also known as TAM, T-A-M. Your market wasn't big enough to support a venture scaled. Maybe in your market, maybe the niche that you've gone after is only worth $10 million. So the most you can hope to make, the most you can achieve is $10 million, maybe $10 million a year, or just $10 million in total value. So any time that your competition kind of dives in, peaks, grabs that, is money out of your pocket. So founders just can't grow beyond that. So they end up having to abandon this audience entirely, which kind of sets them back and starts from zero, or that they're just a tiny market, a crowd that's too small, something that is just a little too niche, or there's not enough money in it, is something to avoid. Number two, deaf to customer feedback. I get it. You're a startup founder. You have a problem that you're chasing after. You know what is right. You've got the taste. You're working on this problem. And it can get kind of annoying to hear all those customers come in, say what they want instead. And it can be if you have a big enough ego to just be like, you know what? They don't get it. They don't understand. I know what they need. I hear what they're saying, but trust me, I'm doing. And that can kill a lot of founders' startup growth. You have to listen to your customers. You have to sometimes go where the money is. Sometimes you have to abandon your idea. You have to evolve your idea. It's okay to make these changes. It's okay to steer the ship. It doesn't have to be a full 180 pivot. It's okay to take the ship over here and slowly steer it to the left a little bit so that you are giving something that your customers are actually wanting rather than something that you think that they need. Number three, premature scaling. You hired a full team before you had a proven business model. You added specialists. So instead of adding like a marketing person to do all kind of marketing creative stuff, you just added a graphic designer and then a video editor and then a copywriter. You hired 3 positions when you should have just hired 1 position. And then you grew your expenses too fast. That exceeded revenue growth. You thought, okay, revenue's on the way, we're making some money, and then you just went a little bit too fast, and now you're in the hole, and now you're having to cut back, now you're having to lay off people. Not good. Number 4, startup theater. This kind of lines up with number 3, is you got the fancy office space before you actually had product market fit. You don't have a truly figured out business model or a reliable way to acquire customers, but instead you hey, we're a big company. Hey, here's a bunch of startup money. Let's go get, let's hire a bunch of people. Let's add all these perks. Let's get all the best benefits that we can. Hey, Uber this, everything flying around. And what ends up happening is, like I said, you have to figure out your company. Your revenue not matching up, and then you have to dial things back. Not good. Number 5, paralysis by perfection. You spent months perfecting this one little feature, and then you put it out to the market, and nobody wants it. You delay waiting for because you're like, it needs to be this perfect moment, or the summer, so let's wait till the fall to launch. Lost market opportunity because you just endlessly, constantly, instead of putting it out there and getting customer feedback, you knew hey, we're gonna get on. It's gonna still be in beta mode. Never happens. Number 6, toxic team dynamics. Are you fighting with your co-founder? Do you have friction with your team? Do you feel like you're not communicating properly to everyone, or that your team is not communicating properly to you? Maybe you're letting high performers get away with toxic behavior. You have created silos, whether it's by design, on purpose, or by accident, and now your sales team and your customer team and your product team, nobody's talking to each other. Nobody cares to talk to each other, and because everyone's just having this. Now we're in cliques or something. There's a weird dynamic going on. So is your team a little bit too toxic? Number 7, single point of failure. Big whales, big clients, big VIPs, one source of income. All of these are a risk to your startup. So if you just have one big VIP client that you are building everything around, you are catering to their every whim and need because they are funding 60% of the revenue, better watch out, or better start to find somebody else to replace that whale, because if the whale leaves, then you are screwed. The other thing, too, is not just on the client side, but with acquiring those clients' marketing channels. Are you just using one marketing channel because you're afraid, or you aren't good at the other marketing channels? Start to find a second way to acquire customers reliably. Number 8, ignoring unit economics. So these are things like your customer acquisition costs, also known as CAC, has exceeded lifetime value. the amount it takes to bring in a customer exceeds the amount that we're ever going to get from that customer. So it takes $100 to acquire this customer, but only our customers are ever going to pay us is $50. That is a losing formula. So you need to find a way to either extract more money out of your customers or find a way to cheaply acquire that same customer. Another part of ignoring unit economics is with having venture funding, with having millions of dollars in the bank, that you can sometimes look past some of the poor economics or a broken business model, because in the bank it says $20 million or $10 million or even just $5 million. Maybe you're a small seed round, but so it's hard to tell between actually working, what's actual money coming in from the business versus what's money that a startup, a venture fund gave us. Number 9, wrong founding team. This is kind of around the same of the toxic team dynamic, but in your CEO and your CTO and your CMO, the tight-knit group that you have at the very top of the business, are you missing some kind of critical skill that is holding you back? Maybe you're a no-code app, but you just know that you need someone to code. You do need some kind of developer to make this app a little bit more usable, but you've just kind of been strong-willed, strong-headed about like, hey, my founder's the CMO. We don't need a CTO. We don't need someone that knows code. We'll just hire a developer. And another part is you tough friction conversations with your co-founders about how we run things, how we make decisions. Like with a contract, I say this all the time, it's not about the marriage with your contract, it's about the divorce. So you have to figure out what happens when things go wrong. What happens when we run to an impasse? What happens when we, as a group, as a team, as 2 co-founders, 3 co-founders, we can't make a decision because we are just at odds with each other? Who wins? Who has the majority stake? You got to also figure that dynamic out. And then the last one is misaligned vision. Are you here for 5 years mentally? Is your co-founder here for 20 years mentally? Or are they here for 1 year mentally? What's their vision of this whole thing? Have you asked them what their vision is for all this? Number 10, marketing without a product. I am guilty of this, but if you take it to the extreme, you end up just spending huge amounts of money on hyping up something that actually doesn't exist. Or you make this crazy awesome video, crazy awesome animation, like insane. If this actually works, if this delivers, it's going to be amazing. But then cut to 2-3 months later, the product actually gets delivered, the feature rolls out, and it's not what the video said. So now you have to do some backtracking, or you got to do some PR crisis mode, or you just have a bunch of pissed off customers, or even worse, silent pissed off customers that don't tell you that the app sucks, but they have this deep down that they've been sold a bill of goods that didn't pay off. Number 11, poor cash management. Revenue is oxygen, profit is oxygen. If you are profitable, you can run your business for as long as you want. And if you have revenue coming in and you are profitable, even better. With managing your money, maybe you're not a big enough company watching this right to have a CFO or some kind of business accounting manager. So you've got to make some smart decisions on where to allocate funds. Are you bringing in revenue? Do you have cash flow coming in? And then have you projected far out enough about what is possible? How much runway do we have left? How many months do we have left in this business? Number 12, missed market timing. Maybe this is too early for the product to understand. Maybe the thing that you're rolling out is just a little bit too early, so there's too many early adopters that would want to buy this product, but not enough mass market. Or is it too late because you waited too long, because you iterated too much, and now there's just a bunch of copycats? And did you fail to adapt to market changes? If people are wanting this, if the trend right now is aimed at this, going in this direction, and you just want to be strong-willed and say, nope, this is who we are, we're not changing, we have this long-term vision, watch out for that. Number 13, solutions searching for a problem. You have built a product because that's something that you had fun building, or that's something you thought was cool, and then you go out to put it in the market and nobody actually wants this thing. You ignored all the signs that no one was interested in the solution. You kind of just like, I follow through. And months and months and months of this, no action happening and no one buying your app leads to nothing. You have no customer validation. You've been just building a bunch of features and your customers haven't been giving any feedback because you haven't even bringing in any customers for them to tell you this is something that they want. 14, weak competitive moat. Now this can be around the features that you're building, but it could really be around the positioning and how you set yourself up in the market and how you talk about your business, how you talk about the problem, and how you talk about the problems with your customers. It's easy for, is what you're building something that your competitors can easily copy or reproduce? And when you are in that kind of game, it ends up becoming just a race to the bottom as who can provide the cheapest one. And usually, if someone is a venture fund startup, you're going to lose every time. And finally, number 15, no clear revenue model. You've built products, you've built features, you have a website, you have some amount of customers, but you just haven't really figured out how to extract the most money out of your customers. You are having difficulty converting free users into paying customers, and you have underpriced your product. You have no path to profitability because of all of the mistakes 1 through 14, and now we're at mistake number 15. So those are the 15 mistakes to watch out for if you are starting to grow your startup. These kill startups slowly and surely. So watch out for them. If you want to learn more about revenue and profitability with your startup and how to make as much money as possible, I did an entire pricing workshop for your SaaS. You should check it out right here.